Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to FishOfHex. My name is Travis. Today we're going to be working on the 29-gallon biocube, which is the coral quarantine tank here in the fish room. Now, it's been up and running for about 2 months, just as is, no light, no nothing. Haven't really done anything with the tank, not even cleaned it out or done a water change. Again, it's been up for about 2 months with this 10 to 15 pounds of crushed or broken up chunks of reef saver rock there underneath the mechanical filtration, and basically just had some carbon running in this innovative marine reactor, and then this is just a generic skimmer that I've dumped out a couple times. It's not really producing anything since there's not a lot of waste in the tank. And yeah, so I'm pretty confident that it's cycled based on the fact that there are feather dusters and everything growing on the back wall. I checked nitrates and phosphates, they're showing up in the system, not really testing ammonia or nitrites just because I don't have the test kits, but I'm getting pretty good readings of those two numbers in the system indicating that it is cycled. Now, in this video, we're going to add this HD Prime light, just like I have over here on my 40-gallon shallow reef. It is the older HD Prime. Only difference is we're not using this bracket. We're going to try the flex arm for the first time, just because that bracket's out of stock, and I got to get this setup done so I can get some coral in. So we're going to try out the flex arm, see how it turns out. Now in this video, I'm going to add that light, show you guys my spectrum, show you the par readings with the Senai reef, and then also you know, just give you a general idea of how the light is set up and everything's going to work, schedule, all that good stuff that you guys ask about all the time. And then we're going to do a 5-gallon water change from the 300-gallon reef, and also cut a coral frag from that tank and put it in here to see how it does. Now the reason why I want to do a little test frag is because I plan on ordering in about 50 acros here in the next couple weeks, and I want to make sure that I can support life, heal that coral, and make sure it does well before I invest all that money into acros and then dump them in this tank. And you know, unfortunately, you know, if it's not ready, it's going to kill all those corals, and that's just out of amount of money at that point. So we're going to do all that here in this video, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our flex mount on there. I already went ahead and installed the tightening screw that you're going to use, or we're going to use, to tighten this down so it doesn't fall out. So I'm thinking we'll just put it back here. I know that this is kind of in the middle of the tank, so it's going to mess with me, but I'm pretty sure I can just move the light wherever I want. So put this in place here, loosen it up. Almost set it. Someone's going to say it in the comment section anyways. Alright. There we go. And then we got our little flex arm. I'm going to put the clips on there first for the cable management, which I think is pretty cool. The other arm doesn't offer that. Well, the other mount doesn't offer that. That seems like a pretty big deal. I know the other one you could kind of run it through the metal, which is technically what this is, but this seems pretty cool. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is put the light on, not over the tank. Tighten her down. Put our cord in there. Maybe. Alright, and then just kind of bend it where we want. Put it in place. Grab our Allen wrench. Should be able to do this. There we go. Alright, seems pretty sturdy. Now, slowly flex it so it doesn't crack the glass. I don't know how strong that is, but yeah. So this is pretty good. I could bring it up if I need to, bring it down if I need to get a little bit more par, which we'll find out what we're getting. I'm just going to set it right there, kind of centered over the tank. Maybe back a little bit. See, I don't want to flex on it too much because I don't want to put too much pressure on that back glass, but maybe right there. Seems pretty decent. Seems pretty sturdy too. Alright, so let's go to move over to the programming, and then we'll check out the par reading on this. Okay, now that we have the light over the quarantine tank, let's go to move over to myaquailluminations.com. I already went ahead and connected the light to the cloud. So now we're just in here. I'm going to show you guys the spectrum that I like to go with, and then we'll move over to the auto, and I'll show you guys the lighting schedule that I have set up. Now when it comes to all of my lights here, for the exception of the Kessels, anything that has this bar manual control, I like to set to my version of the AV Plus spectrum, and that is 100% UV, 100% violet, royal blues, and then I like to keep my green and my red around between 10 to 15% depending on the light and how many I have. Seems to work out pretty well. The hardest part is getting it to 15%. Maybe. There we go. And then my cool whites and whites I keep between 30 and 35%. You can bring the white light up more if you want it less bluish and you want kind of, I guess if you like that color, but for me this is personally what I like, is more of a bluer tank. And yeah, so that's my spectrum, works out well. Again, I have it on every single system that I've had for over the last few years, and like I said, the only exception I have is the Kessels, which you guys will see later in another video what I have for set up on those. Now moving over to the auto, I already went ahead and put in my schedule. We're just going to run through it real quick. Just like the rest of the fish room, it's going to kick on at, or start is ramping up at 8 a.m. It's going to ramp to the intensity I just showed you, which is basically 100% of what I could get. At 9 a.m. it's going to run all the way through until 9 p.m. I'm going to exit out of this. 9 p.m. And at that point, it's going to ramp down, of course, to 0 and be off for the night. I don't do any kind of lunar or anything like that. No clouds effects, no weather, none of that crap. Just double check the time. We're good here. And that's it. So that's my AB+, or my version of the AB+ spectrum. And again, this is what I've used on every single tank that I've had: soft coral, LPS, and SPS. So with that said, let's go to move over and do some par readings. Okay, so let's go and do our par readings. So at the very top, just underneath the surface, we're getting 1,500. All right, so let's go move down right to the top of this rack. So we'll center the coral rack over the light, see if we can get anything with that. We're about 300, so I'm definitely between the 250 and 350 at the top of the rack. Move down to the next section, 270. Kind of limited right here because I have the little holder in the way, so I can't kind of center it, but 235. So right now I could pretty much throw any acro at the top of this rack at 300, be good to go. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's actually where the range I want it to be. I don't have to make any adjustments to the rack. I could even bring it up if I wanted to, build something with a 3D printer for the feet to bring it up. But yeah, I'm happy. I'll take 300 at the top. And you got to remember, we're not here to grow the coral. We're just trying to get it through quarantine, keep it happy, or as happy as we possibly can between dipping and anything that might come in on it. But we're just trying to keep it alive and happy, and then eventually move it over to the grow-out system. So yep, pretty good with that. Okay, before we move over and cut a couple frags for our test corals, need to get in here and do a 5-gallon water change real quick. Just simply going to pull out 5 gallons and then grab 5 gallons from the 300 and put it in here. That's pretty much what I'm going to do from this point forward, just because the 300 has a good water column. It's got a lot of beneficial nutrients in it from the calcium reactor and from dosing, that it's just easier to do it that way. So let me go and pull this out real quick. Now, this is also a good opportunity to get the extra crap out of the water. There you go. Get all this stuff at the bottom of the tank. There we go. Siphoning the unit. There we go. I had some shells clogged in it from my other water change. There we go. Get all this out. This is just dust from the rock that was in here originally. I did have it sitting in the main display for a couple days before I finally broke it up and put it in the back. There we go, there's 5 gallons. Okay, so I'm going to dump that out real quick, and then we'll move over and pull 5 out of the 300 and dump it in here. Alright, so here is the new 5 gallons. Alright, so I'll show you guys how I top off a 300 for those of you who are wondering. I'm not letting the ATO or anything do that, so let me show you that real quick. Okay, so when it comes to topping off the ATO and pretty much the rest of this system in here, I have a 20-gallon saltwater mixing barrel, which is always running, always have a pump in there going. And I keep about 20 gallons in there because I like to keep new, fresh saltwater added every couple weeks or so, depending on how many orders I have. But anyways, I have this little ball valve here. Give that a twist. Runs down over here and just goes right into the overflow, and then comes down into the sump, which, as you can hear, is pretty low. It's at about 5 and should be at 8. So yeah, it'll just top off. I'll keep an eye on it. Once it starts to get around 7.5, I'll turn off the knob and it will just kind of slowly come back up, given how much is still in the sump. So that's pretty much it when it comes to topping off the tank. All right, now that we're done with the par readings, let's get into the 40-gallon here and get a couple frags to put in as our testing coral. So going to grab probably a piece of this mangy or mangy tort. And then, let's see what else, probably grab a piece of the Jason Fox, the thing, and some of that green with purple stag in the back. So I'm gonna grab my bone cutters, see if I can do this with one hand. So first things first, grab a piece of this, excuse me, fish. I should probably grab one closer to the glass since the magnet has been bumping it lately. Please don't break the whole colony. There you go, got one, set it to the side. Grab some of this, the thing. I don't really want to frag this guy, but it's okay. It's a small frag. Yo, doing this with one hand and holding the camera is not easy. I give those people credit. Alright, so the last one is in the back. It's an easy one. This guy grows so fast. It's that big colony in the middle left rock structure in the 300. There we go. Okay, so those are our 3 frags. Let's go ahead and get them on plugs real quick and get them over to the quarantine tank. Okay, so the only thing left to do is add our coral frags and see how they do over the next couple weeks. Now, if they start encrusting, polyp extension is good, coloration is good, I will then put an order in from my wholesaler and get some frags, and then we'll fill this thing up with some coral that will eventually make it to the grow out and then eventually make it to the website. It's a little bit of a process, but it's a good process because it's always nice to know that you're adding clean, healthy frags to your system, especially if it's established and you already got a lot of acros and even other corals. You don't want to be taking a chance of adding any pests that could potentially wipe out the entire system. You got to think, if I get in a frag from a wholesaler and it has an acropora eating flatworm and I don't catch it, it goes into my 300, it wipes out everything, and my business is pretty much done. So this is a very simple setup and is necessary for, I feel, anybody who wants to add coral to the tank. Having a coral quarantine is a must, and I definitely want to run a system without one. So that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll give you guys an update in the next couple weeks, see how these corals are doing. And for those of you wondering about flow, I probably will add a power head, something small, because it is a pretty small system. Probably just a maxi jet or something that bounces off the back wall and kind of does a little spin effect. But other than that, that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later. Peace.